Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Panic Sell Weekly. I'm Phil McCandlestick. Mixed week across the indices. The S&P and Nasdaq both pulled back modestly. Chip stocks took a real hit, and we're swapping out individual stock picks this week for something bigger. Bitcoin and Ethereum both just had one of their strongest weeks in months. Let's get into it. Starting with the S&P 500, down about 1.5% this week, closing around 7,674. Last week, we told you the safety cushion below price. The level buyers have been defending had shrunk to about $66. This week, it shrank again, down to roughly $32. That cushion keeps getting thinner even as the index holds up. The trend itself is still fully intact. Nothing about the underlying structure has cracked. Our overbought gauge eased slightly, from 68 down to about 63. So the market's a touch less stretched than last week, but still elevated. The dip buying setup we watch for is still nowhere close to triggering. The Nasdaq's flip from a couple weeks back just turned 2 weeks old, and it's still holding. Every major trend signal is still lined up bullish, no cracks. Down about 2% this week, closing near 26,180. The bottom confirmation signal we flagged firing 2 bars back is now 3 bars back, right on schedule, no surprises. Money flow's still positive. One new wrinkle, this index is now showing the early signs of a real coil building underneath the price action. Worth watching for a bigger move once it resolves in either direction. Chip stocks had a rough one, down over 5% this week. But here's the twist, the scorecard underneath it actually got a little better, not worse. Last week, the bear side had climbed to 2 out of 4. This week, it's back down to 0. Volume still not confirming the move. Same unresolved problem as last week, but a fresh bullish continuation pattern just printed 2 bars back, and the long-term trend reading is still fully intact. A bad price week with a scorecard that quietly improved. Don't let the red candle tell the whole story. Now the big one. Ethereum just broke a months-long slide, up nearly 30% this week. A fresh bullish flip, and genuinely the strongest setup we're covering tonight. Real money is backing this one. Trading volume, money flow, and price relative to the key support level are all checking out together. 3 out of 4 confirmations in the bull's favor, none on the other side. On top of that, a bottom-catching signal fired brand new on this exact week's candle. The first fresh print of that specific signal in a long time. The one thing holding this back from a clean sweep, most recent buyers in this coin are still sitting on losses, and the slower, more cautious trend reading hasn't caught up to the flip yet. This is a genuinely strong signal, still early but not one to dismiss. Bitcoin's move was real too, just a notch more cautious than Ethereum's. Up nearly 23% this week, also a fresh bullish flip. Money flow and volume are both confirming here as well, though nothing new fired on the signal side this week the way it did for Ethereum. Same caveat as its bigger cousin. The slower trend measure hasn't turned yet, and there's still a lot of underwater supply sitting overhead from the prior decline. Real strength, same watch closely, don't chase message. That's the week. Full breakdowns on every chart we covered, plus Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a handful of others are up now in the no panic zone. I'm Phil McCandlestick, and I'll see you next week.